Hello and welcome to Granada Reports.
Hello, thanks for joining us. Coming up on the programme this evening.
Like two people very much in love, but behind the smiles, a scary story of one woman's abusive power over her boyfriend. Gareth says she controlled every aspect of his life and then escaped a jail sentence.
Shows that if you are, a female abuser and you do commit such, atrocities that you can do, especially what I experienced, that you can still, in essence, get away with things.
It's time to talk. Rishi Sunak and Sir Keir Starmer set to go head-to-head in the Northwest for the first televised debate of the general election.
It's day 3 of the TT races. Tonight we meet the superbike stars going for glory and a duo from Blackburn who give us a lesson in sidecar racing.
He's having a shot at Shakespeare, Les Dennis tells of treading the boards as one of the Bard's most famous comedy characters.
And we're still going to be dodging downpours for a time to come, but there's some better news ahead weather-wise. I'll have all the details later on in the programme.
First tonight, a senior detective at Cheshire Police called it the worst case of coercive control of one person over another she'd ever seen. Yet this was a case of a woman abusing a man.
Sarah Rigby degraded and dominated her boyfriend Gareth Jones. She controlled what he ate and wore. She cut him off from his family and friends and made him pay rent, yet often forced him to sleep on the floor of the home they shared in Winsford.
Well, finally, after a nightmare 9 months, Gareth escaped and went to the police. But he faced dismay when Rigby went before the courts and escaped a jail sentence.
Gareth has been speaking exclusively to our reporter Jamal Williams-Thomas.
A seemingly happy home, but living in it a woman who abused her boyfriend physically and mentally for almost a year.
And it was kind of a lot of love, and I think love bombing, as they call it. It was very kind of overpowering, and then obviously gradually, as the abuse and things set in.
Sarah Rigby subjected Gareth Jones to a catalogue of abuse, including degrading him, stopping him from showering or using the toilet in the house, and making him sleep on the floor with no duvet as a punishment. She stopped him from seeing family and friends, and if he didn't comply with her orders, stopped him from eating.
I became so nervous about eating anything on fear that if I went back, I was told that I would either have a smell of onion or garlic on my breath. I became so scared that I didn't actually eat anything when I was with my parents.
Gareth was also made to pay her £700 in rent every month and was also expected to pay for her clothes, trips away and other bills in the house.
We were on a weekend away in London, and basically we had decided to go in, I was told to go into Harrods. I had my arm grabbed and clawed so deep that I actually started bleeding underneath my sweater, and I was told that, we are not leaving this shop until you buy me something expensive.
How much money do you think you spent over that 10 months, roughly?
I think it was probably close into the region of between £30,000 and £40,000.
Gareth finally had enough and escaped one morning with just his laptop bag and a change of underwear.
I felt that if I'd have probably stayed in it any longer, that things would have ended up a lot worse for me. And
did you truly believe that things could get worse at that point?
Yeah, I believe that they could.
Here at Cheshire Police, Detective Constable Sophie Ward said it's the worst case of coercive and controlling behaviour she's ever seen. Despite this, Sarah Rigby was handed a 20-month sentence, suspended for 2 years. As well as this, she has to complete 35 days of rehabilitation and was handed a 5-year restraining order.
I feel that if it was a man, then it would probably be a completely different outcome. I think it shows that if you are a female abuser and you do commit such, atrocities that you can do, especially what I experienced, that you can still, in essence, get away with things.
Gareth hopes that other men that have been through what he has been through continue to come forward and spread the awareness. Jamal Williams-Thomas, ITV News, Crew.
Yeah, very brave of Gareth to speak out. And if you've been affected by any of the issues raised in our report, there's information about how to get help on our website. That's itv.com/Granada.
Well, next with the general election campaign hotting up, exciting news for you tonight.
Yes, Rishi Sunak and Sir Keir Starmer, the Conservative and Labour leaders, are to hold their first live TV debate on ITV at a location in Greater Manchester next Tuesday evening. That's June the 4th.
Julie Etchingham has the details and an appeal for your questions.
On June the 4th, Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer will face each other in their first head-to-head TV debate on ITV. They want to convince you they're the right person to lead the country. In an increasingly challenging world, what's their big plan? How should they tackle the big issues facing you? This is your chance to ask the questions. All you have to do is visit our website and follow the links. Don't miss the chance to have your say.
Yeah, it's all happening. Let's cross live to our political correspondent Elaine now, who's in Westminster for us. Elaine, what issues do you think are going to dominate this debate?
Well, that very much depends on the burning issues our viewers want to put to the political leaders. We understand that Rishi Sunak was very keen to do these debates, but Sir Keir Starmer has agreed to do a couple of the debates, and it's been quite a coup, of course, for ITV to get the very first one in this election and to have it in the North West too. The Conservatives will talk about the economy and defence and that surprise announcement by Rishi Sunak on the national service conscription, or whatever you want to call it, for teenagers, which has certainly sparked debate, and of course his key slogan of stopping the boats. Labour will probably focus less on immigration but more about NHS, which is what they've been wanting to talk about today, that pledge to clear the backlog of patients within the first 5 years of government, and their commitments on the economy and growth. It is still very much early days in the campaign, but the debates really do make a difference, particularly for the undecided and young voters. The very first debate back in 2010 was watched by over 10 million viewers, and that spawned the catchphrase "I agree with Nick Clegg" from the Liberal Democrats, who's no longer in politics. So we want to know those questions for the political leaders when they come to the North West as we hurtle towards vote day on July the 4th.
Absolutely. Elaine, thank you.
Now, we've all heard about life imitating art, but what about when it's the other way around? Well, the Manchester actor Kirsty Lee Porter, who plays Leela Dexter in Hollyoaks, has recently found out all about that.
Yeah, a few years ago, Kirsty Lee had the saddest of experiences to go through when she had a stillbirth. And this week on the soap, the character she plays will go through baby loss.
Our entertainment correspondent Caroline Whitmore caught up with her on the set of Hollyoaks in Liverpool with her on-screen husband, Joel.
This is the Lomax family living room on the set of Hollyoaks. Do you still get excited when you walk on the set, or is that just me?
Absolutely, yeah. This set is iconic. We was only talking the other day, we've never really changed the decor or anything like that, but I mean, some of it, if you look closely, looks a bit worn and torn.
And Kirsty Lee, you're a little bit of a soap queen, aren't you? Because we've seen you in Coronation Street, Emmerdale. You're obviously now on Hollyoaks. You've been here for 10 years.
Yeah, the best one.
The ultrasound has shown... I'm so sorry. Your baby has passed away.
I don't know how you've managed to do it, to be honest, because you had a stillbirth and now your character, Leela, is going through the same in Hollyoaks, isn't she?
Telling Leela's story is basically a good way of trying to break the taboo. I suffered a loss. I had a stillborn baby girl, Penny Lee, back in 2018. And even in them 5 years, not much is done to provide care for parents that are suffering a bereavement.
Sorry, is there no other ways you can...
No, I'm sorry.
When you watch the episodes, and I think people have definitely experienced it, are going to have really sort of jaw-dropping moments when finally they've shown that aspect of it. They've never seen this on TV before.
There's a particular scene where Joel is left with the baby, and in scripts and original kind of plans, he picks up the baby and he holds him. But we decided to change that last minute and have him that he's so in shock, that he's so beside himself that he couldn't even bring himself to hold his own son.
It's very
which
common.
is very common.
Yeah, Joel, can you hold him?
And looking at podcasts and different things like that, these men felt defenceless and didn't know where to turn, didn't know who to speak to, didn't feel like they had any input to give, because it's not them that's experienced the loss physically, but mentally they've lost everything. Things out there on Facebook groups, if anyone's ever experienced it, men realising that too is so powerful, because they think we have nothing.
Mariposa Trust, they've got kind of 6 divisions of baby loss awareness. They help you at different stages of your loss, and they were a lifeline to me when I lost Penny Lee. And she asked me to become ambassador, and I just feel quite ready now to be able to do what I can to help the trust and to help people.
And you've got a lovely little girl as well.
I have Nala Ray. Yep, she's 3. She's a rainbow baby. After you've suffered a loss and you become pregnant again and you have a child, they're known as rainbow babies, purely for the fact of a rainbow that comes after a storm. And she's just brought a lot of happiness and healing to me, which is, I guess what they do.
You've got some news as well, haven't you?
Yes. So this morning I found out that I've been nominated for a National Television Award. So,
Yay! And well done. Goodness me, I don't know how you did it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, very well done to Kirsty Lee. OK, let's move on to sport now and get to football. Burnley say that they have started their search for a new manager after Vincent Kompany completed his move to become the new head coach of Bayern Munich. He spent 2 seasons with the Clarets, winning promotion to the Premier League before being relegated this season. Bayern have paid Burnley around £10 million in compensation.
In boxing, it's been confirmed that Tyson Fury's rematch with Alexander Usyk will take place on December the 21st in Saudi Arabia. The Morecambe heavyweight suffered the first defeat of his professional career when he lost on a split decision to the Ukrainian earlier this month.
Well, let's stay with boxing. Another Northwest fighter now hoping to be given a shot at a world belt is Chorley's Jack Catterall, fresh from victory in his grudge match with Josh Taylor. He's now targeting a well-earned title challenge.
Yes, but before all that, he's got a far more important date in his diary, his wedding in just a week's time. We're delighted to say that Jack and his fiancée, Lauren, have joined us in the studio here this evening. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so brilliant to see you both. Look, we'll get on to the wedding in a minute. Can't wait to talk about that. Before that, though, Jack, take us back to this rematch. 819 days after you and many in the sport thought that you were robbed of victory. Finally, revenge. How sweet was that?
You know, it was so sweet. It's been a long time, and there were times where we thought the fight wasn't going to happen. There's been pull-outs, injuries, delays. To get in there Saturday and finally rewrite it and put it right and get the decision I deserved, it was such a good feeling.
What was the best bit of the night?
You know what, the ring walk, so we was fighting in Leeds, it was packed out, 14,000 in there, and I was in the dressing room, I could hear the stadium, everyone were chanting. That ring walk was something special.
Now, of course, last time you were fighting, when you lost, you were prevented from winning 4 belts, becoming England's first boxer to win all 4 belts in one category. No belts on the line this time, but does it still help you get over the disappointment?
Yeah, definitely. It was frustrating at the time because obviously it was for 4 world titles, undisputed. No titles on the timeless time, but it felt more personal between me and Josh. So to finally to rewrite it and beat him felt good. But ultimately, it's put me in a better position now to go and challenge for world titles.
Well, you mentioned that's the next goal, isn't it? Go on for a world title now. Is that the hope?
That's the hope. I've left that with my management team and my promotional team. So get the wedding done, I'll be straight back in the gym and on the hunt for the world titles.
I love that. You're so romantic. Get the wedding done. A kiss for the fiancé, though, at the end of all of this. Lauren, I've always wanted to ask someone this. When you love someone who is a boxer, it must be so tough watching them.
It is tough, but I think they're the moments that you build up for. I feel like there's so much that goes into camps and so much that goes into everyday life being a boxer. Then I love fight nights, and I'm one of the weird ones that actually enjoys it. I think most partners are on edge, but I really enjoy it. I feel like if you can't look towards that, then what's the point? You've got to enjoy that moment when it comes. So yeah, I enjoy it.
Now, he's been all consumed with the fight. Has he been much help preparing for the wedding?
Not one thing. Nothing. And I bet he's sick of me now, because afterwards I've been like, right, I'll let you get your fight done, but now I'm like, right, this. He's like, oh.
Yeah, you see how he didn't get badly bruised, though? You're going to look good in the photos. You haven't got a bruise on your face,
You know
have
what?
you?
On the day after my face were marked up, there was a few bruises, but I healed quite quickly and they've settled down, so I think we're good for pictures next week.
Just tell us, it's going to be a big wedding, isn't it? Tell us about the family as well, Jack. How many are coming?
You know what? Between us, we've got a massive family and everybody's coming. There's probably over 100 guests coming in the day, so it'll be nice to spend some time. You spend a lot of time in camp, to and from the gym. You don't get to spend much time with your family, so I'm looking forward to relaxing and enjoying the day.
And your little girl as well. We've got a picture, I think, of Riley. 3 years old. I bet she's giddy about the day.
She's so excited. She's our little flower girl, her and her best friend, so she can't wait for it, can she?
She keeps telling everyone at nursery she's going to throw flowers.
So, how many flower girls, how many bridesmaids?
We've got 6 bridesmaids, 4 flower girls. Wow. Quite a lot of groomsmen as well. It's a busy one.
And you've had your hen do, but you missed out, really, on your stag.
Yes, unfortunately, the fight was postponed 4 weeks. I had 5 weeks between my fight and the wedding. Now I have 10 days. We're a week away today, so the stag do got scrapped. But it is what it is. You know what? The fight took priority at the time. We can catch up with the celebrations later.
The wedding takes priority now, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Have the most wonderful wedding day,
so
and thanks so much for coming in to talk to us.
Thank you for your
make
time.
such a great couple.
Great to see you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you both.
OK, well, time to buckle up as we head back to the Isle of Man now for day 3 of the TT.
Yeah, lucky Mike is there for us. Where exactly are you, Mike?
Well, I'm just a few metres away from the start line here at the TT races. This is the assembly area, and quite simply, this is where the riders assemble with their bikes just before the action gets underway. This is where those last-minute tweaks are made to the bikes before they head out there and tackle that 37-mile course. Now, the roads on the Isle of Man were closed about 20 minutes ago, which is great news. That means we have the green light for racing this evening. Now, last night on the programme, we heard about the influx of tourists during TT Fortnight. Well, tonight we're going to hear from the stars of the show, the riders. Joshua Stokes has been speaking to some of them.
It's racing, but not as you know it. The TT sees riders take on the Isle of Man's public roads, weaving between walls, houses and pavements, a 117-year-old tradition that keeps riders coming back year on year.
It's a special place. It always has been, always will be, and for me, you know, it's my highlight of my year, and I love coming here. And you know, the best bit's putting the helmet on and burning down that hill down Bray Hill.
Morecambe's John McGuinness has 23 wins to his name, and this year he'll be passing on his wisdom to a new teammate, a local Manx rider, enjoying the opportunity of a lifetime.
It's like a dream come true. I've got a picture of me and John when we were both younger, but I was really young. At that point, it was like I just wanted to be John McGuinness. Joining Honda, obviously that's like the most successful manufacturer around the TT course. Joining John, 23-time TT winner. Yeah, it's a proper dream come true.
We'll get him going as fast as we can, not too fast. Obviously, I want him behind me, but if he does go faster than me, I will shake his hand. And I just want to see him succeed. You know, we need the new generation of riders. You know, we can't do it forever. We're, you know, coming to the end for me, and we need a new generation of fast riders. And you know, you can't look much further than Nathan.
Meanwhile, at the top end of the table, it's a battle between 3. With Dean Harrison pushing for another trophy.
To win would be fantastic. There's obviously a lot of other people that try to do the same thing, so there's only one win in the race, so it's definitely going to be a tough week. But obviously the TT being the biggest road race in the world, obviously this is sort of the biggest 2 weeks of the year.
Chasing Honda down is FHO's Peter Hickman.
Well, the aim always is the same. You know, we're entering 8 races and we want to try and win 8 races. The only way you'll ever understand is by coming here, getting in a hedge somewhere, soaking in the atmosphere, and then feeling that bike come past you. It's not just about seeing it and hearing it, it's about feeling it. And once somebody does that, they'll then start to understand a little bit about what the Isle of Man TT is about.
But the big story of the year lies with one man. Will Michael Dunlop match his Uncle Joey's 25 TT wins, crowning an all-new, all-time record holder, keeping well clear of media as ever, focused fully on the week ahead, as qualifying continues here in the Isle of Man. Joshua Stokes, ITV News, Douglas.
Now, imagine what it must feel like to race at speeds of 150 miles per hour while sitting just 6 centimetres off the ground. Well, that is exactly what happens in sidecar racing. A little earlier, I caught up with a duo from Blackburn, Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosney, as they prepared for their race here this evening. Well, Lewis, I know you guys have been friends for many, many years. How did you end up doing this?
So my granddad raced sidecars for about 40 years, so I've always been watching him as a young child. I've had a go at motocross and enduro racing and a bit of solo racing, and then eventually decided, you know what, I'm going to have a go at sidecar racing.
How many years have you guys been coming to the TT, and what's your best result so far?
So we've been coming to the TT since 2016. We missed 2 years with COVID, and then we missed last year, and the best results are 4th in 2017.
Okay, now this is very much a partnership. Talk me through both of your roles. Let's start with yours.
So I'm the driver, so I'm sat here in the cockpit. The boys are all the way down here. So my position is kind of like this on the bike, head down. So as I'm turning, Paddy will then complement what I want to do. So if we're going right, he'll get over on the balance right and keep the bike turning right, and on lefts, he'll keep it weighted down.
Yeah, because Patrick, you're not a passenger here. You're very much the second driver. Talk me through what you do back there.
So basically, when we're out right, I'm as far as I can over here to keep the bike turning right, and then for a left, I'm as far out here to keep this wheel down on the ground as much as possible. And then basically, apart from that, I'm trying to stay out the wind, try and keep my head down, and yeah.
And this is 150 miles an hour. What is that experience like?
It's a rush, yeah. your feet touch the floor every now and again, but yeah, no, it's really good.
I know you guys spend a lot of the year racing on circuits, but this is a road race with all of its imperfections, potholes that have been filled in.
Yeah.
Do you know the roads of the Isle of Man like the back of your hand? You have to, don't you?
Yeah, you need to know as much as you possibly can. I mean, I don't need to know as much as Lewis needs to know. I just need to know where we are. He needs to know exactly where each bump is.
OK, let's bring in John here, who's Lewis's dad. John, what is it like for you when these boys are out there racing?
It's horrendous, actually.
Is it really?
Well, it is for me, yeah. Once I get back, I'm all right, but like this time of day and stuff like that, it's brilliant. It's all the atmosphere and everything, but yeah, when they're out there, it's not, a bit worrying, but it's same for everybody.
You just want them back safely. That's a good TT, isn't it? They're back safely.
Yeah, get back home safely, yeah, and a good result, yeah.
OK, Lewis, very briefly, what are the ambitions for TT Fortnight?
There's 2 good finishes, really. 2 strong finishes, and then back to the British Championship and try and get that one.
Good luck to you both.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Blackstock and Rosney, they're out on the course at 8 o'clock this evening. Don't forget you can keep up to date with all the action from the TT races on ITV4. Coverage starts this Friday and goes all the way through to the big finale at the end of next week. Well worth a watch, this event. Well worth a visit, guys.
Mike, thanks very much. Look at that blue sky, engines revving. What more do you need? Fantastic. And Mike in red and white shoes. Now then, a complete change of mood. When we think of when we first saw Les Dennis, it's probably stand-up comedy and his days hosting Family Fortunes that spring to mind.
But his latest outing is as a miserable killjoy and a job's worth in one of Shakespeare's great comedies.
Yeah, it is, though, the best role in one of Shakespeare's most loved works, Twelfth Night. And it's all happening at, you've guessed it, the amazing Shakespeare North Playhouse in Prescott. It's there Anne O'Connor caught up with him and the play's director.
It's described as Twelfth Night, with riffs, roughs and riotous partying. And Les Dennis in yellow tights.
Welcome home to Merseyside. You were born not too far from here, were you?
I was born in Garston, yeah, down by the docks. I'm a mud man, which means you were born under the bridge.
And did you like Shakespeare at school?
I didn't particularly like Shakespeare until, with the A-level group, we went to Stratford and I saw the most amazing performance of Twelfth Night. Viola was Judi Dench.
Wow.
And Malvolio, the part I'm playing, was Donald Sinden, so no wonder I was bowled over. And I thought then, I want to do this. I'd already started doing the working men's clubs around Liverpool and the Northwest, but I thought I want to do Shakespeare one day.
You said bride. Our survey said...
He's been on our screens for decades as a stand-up and game show host.
Name another way to say be quiet. Shut up. It's not very nice, is it?
But Les has also appeared on stage with the English National Opera and the Royal Shakespeare Company.
Whenever I did Family Fortunes, I was able to go away and do, because that was 3 weeks of the year that we filmed the show, I was able to go to the Oldham Coliseum, which sadly is no longer with us, and did a play and learnt my craft, because that's what I wanted to do. And since then, I've acted more than I've done comedy.
Shakespeare North's production sees the main characters as rock stars, and here's Malvolio, the killjoy tour manager who makes a fool of himself for love.
This show will feel like a festival in a couple of hours. So there's going to be live music, there's going to be comedy, pathos, chaos. And people can go to the bar as and when they wish.
Anybody who hasn't been to the theatre before, this theatre and this company really encourage that. You know, anybody who was scared like I was at 17 of Shakespeare should come, because it's wonderful.
And the fluffy yellow coat.
The fluffy yellow coat. In the play, of course, it's he's asked to wear yellow stockings and be cross-gartered. We've taken it to festival standards.
Liam Gallagher would be proud.
I met him once. He
Did
said,
you?
yeah, I was walking through a park in London. He was walking towards me with his wife, and she went, look who that is. And I was like, I was amazed. And he went, all right, geezer, and walked on, which was great.
Mr Gallagher and the rest of us can see Twelfth Night starting on the 7th of June. Anne O'Connor, ITV News, Prescott.
Looks great, doesn't it? Right, time for the weather now. Here's Joe.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thank you. A very good evening to you. Some much needed drier weather to end this week, but not before another showery day to come tomorrow here in the northwest, with bright or sunny spells and rather breezy conditions. From Friday, high pressure will be building in, giving the UK in general some much needed drier weather, with temperatures responding well to any brightness on Saturday and Sunday, and it's still hanging on into next week, so a dry start to proceedings at least. Back to this evening, quiet and settled for many of us, a bit of a breeze, 1 or 2 breaks in the cloud, and then we'll see showers begin to develop from the north into the early hours of tomorrow morning. Some of these heavy and thundery as they move southwards before dawn. A mild night to come, 11 or 12 degrees for the northwest. On to tomorrow, those are the sun times. It's up at 4:48, setting just before 9:30. Tomorrow then, a rather cloudy start for many of us, with showers working their way southwards through the course of the morning. Skies will brighten behind, but then we will see more showers feeding through during the afternoon. It should be a little drier for the Isle of Man during the afternoon tomorrow, and for most places by the end of the day, some late sunshine to round things off, with temperatures inland getting to around 17 or 18 Celsius. But again, it's cool for Irish sea coasts tomorrow in that breeze. With high pressure beginning to work its magic from Friday, more settled conditions and drier to end the working week. Temperatures on Friday itself reaching 17 degrees. Through Saturday and Sunday, bright or sunny spells to look forward to, and temperatures beginning to improve. Certainly it'll get to around 19 or 20 Celsius inland, always a little cooler along our coast in that northwesterly breeze. And Monday should be dry too. Here's the pollen.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
Pollen levels have been low thanks to a fresh breeze and changeable weather conditions, and it continues to be the case into the weekend, perhaps getting to moderate where we see some warmer spells of sunshine, but staying low in general. Bye-bye.
And that's it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.